The dictionary defines confidence as, and I quote, the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, i.e. firm trust. But the question is, how do you get more confidence? And more importantly, how do you get some self-confidence so you can bust through those plateaus and win at the game? Let's discuss. I've been in your waters. Oh my gosh, hang on a minute. That's Dawg and Sammy G in the house. And we are coming to you live and direct all the way down here. Hi over there, and then back up here. See the joys of it. I mean, when you're
modern
controlling.
technology, when you are in control.
Anyway, Dawg Sammy G, and we're helping network marketers just like you just absolutely smash their mindset, their message, and their marketing using this amazing thing we call social media. And time and time again, we're dropping videos just like this one to help you just win at everything. And Sammy G, speaking of winning,
what were you going to say?
November, 7 years, team. I'm just a nice little plug here before we get started talking about self-confidence at the 10 at 10, and that is 7 years we've been bashing away at this thing called the home-based business. Man, we didn't even know what to expect. We were like the worst people on this earth to be able to do this thing.
We fell into this by accident, and as you can imagine, if you had to write down like a perfect scenario for someone doing that business, we were not it. We were
time poor.
Extremely time poor. 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, both working full time, 4 kids, pregnant with number 5. Like, could you actually load up your life anymore with all of that stuff going on? You just couldn't. So written down on paper, if anyone had looked at us from the outside looking in, they would have said, don't even bother talking to them. They're going to be useless.
Rubbish. Those guys are rubbish anyway. Hey, we don't do anything by halves, number one. And number 2, we like to prove everyone wrong. We love that. You know, tell us we can't do something and my gosh, game on. That's what I say. But anyway, we're talking about what is one of those secret ingredients.
But you haven't said what you've done in 7 years.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Most important
7 years, team. This November, we've just, officially, it's official. I mean, the official word on the street is that we've just had our biggest month ever. Team, well done. Everyone, well done. We've had our biggest month in our home-based business today, in this month. Bigger than any of the 7-year months that we've had prior to this. And we've had a few big months, wouldn't you say?
We have had a few big months in the past, but this has superseded anything, and that's the beautiful thing that I love about this business is it's not just the results of one person. So if someone is winning, it's not just, oh, that person's amazing, they're winning. It means the whole team en masse are winning, and that was the whole reason we came here, is so that the whole team could win and the whole team could have epic results. So to have that success during this time frame in the world, you all know what's going on in the world, to have that, to start something from scratch and then move into this model and all of this new setup and have the biggest month ever, like, I mean, humongous, in 7 years of running this type of a business is just true testimony to all of those people out there in our team who are smashing it.
Well done. Team effort.
Well done.
Team sport right here. And anyway, we're here to help you take this to the next level. I mean, if you're probably sitting there going, okay, well, teach me this. Teach me the secrets, Sammy G. Teach me the secrets. Anyway, we're going to talk about one thing in particular on this 10 at 10 because we've only have 10 minutes. And I mean, we could write a novel.
Hang on, this doesn't actually make sense to me. We say 10 at 10, but we talk for 15 minutes, then we press the 10-minute timer.
Okay, it's just a technical error. Don't get too crazy over it. And I just wanted to take that minute just to say well done to every single one of you, and well done to you, Sammy G, for just being an amazing leader in this amazing industry. Oh my gosh, why do we keep changing? Anyway,
I think it's you fiddling with it.
Okay, I've put the clock on. Sammy G, right here. If you're all with us, let us know. Just drop in the chat. Just let us know. Just
if that clock is.
if you're having success this month, if this is your biggest month, if you're striving ahead in this network marketing industry, you're a home-based business builder, and now's just the best time in all of history, I believe, to get started in one.
Or even if your business is stabilizing, or even if you have focused on more customers this month than last month, and you are better this month than you were last month. Even if you're more focused this month than you were last month. So there's lots of different ways of winning, which could be personal to you. So just drop it in the chat and let us know
I love that.
why this month has been different.
And here's the topic of today for our 10 at 10, and that is about how to increase self-confidence. We know above and beyond, like we said, 7 years ago when Sam and I first got started, we weren't confident in anything. We didn't even know what to do.
We were just about breathing.
No one knew what to do. We were just like blind leading the blind. Everyone was just like having a good time, and everyone's just making stuff up as they go along.
Didn't even know what it was.
Didn't even know what it was. But along the way, this is one thing that's held true, and that is if you have the confidence in yourself, you can achieve anything. Anything that comes your way. To have a belief in yourself first. That way, whatever life throws at you, and we've talked about this many a time, but whatever life throws at you, you are up for the game. You're up for the challenge. And if you've got a pen and paper ready, I better do this. Okay, sorry guys. Let's start the clock. Start the clock. Okay, it's all right. It's only a 5-minute intro. That's pretty good for me. All right, so if you're sitting there with pen and paper ready, one of the first things I'd always write down is courage before confidence. Courage always comes before confidence. You've got to have the courage first to step out and have a go at something. You've got to have a crack at it. So courage comes first. It's not when you're ready. And we've talked about this in one of our other videos about the be, do, have. You've got to be courageous right now before you get that confidence. We're going to share our 5 quick tips of how to build and increase your self-confidence so that you may be able to master yourself, your inner voice, your inner dialogue, your internal motivation, so that you can dominate in the external world.
And that is the only thing that stands between you and where you want to be. If you look at people around you and you're like, oh, I wish I could have the results of that person. They're a human being. They're exact same as you. They have 2 arms. They have 2 legs. They have busy stuff going on in their life. They have heartbreak. They have ups. They have downs. They have trauma. They have all this stuff going on. There is actually no different whatsoever to you. However, the difference is their confidence level. And that's something that if I look at all of the successful people or all of the people around us who've had these massive gains or wins or hit the heights of whatever it is they want to achieve, it is that confidence in themselves being able to do that. So they sort of had this outward vision that if you can do it, why can't I? Whereas what I see in some people is they're just like, oh, that person's so different to me, I could never do that. And they just give up before they even try. So it's having that mindset right from the get-go that everyone is equal. There is no one better than you. There is no one, got these special powers or skills that you don't have. You do have everything you need inside of you. It's having that confidence.
Unless you have the Elder Wand. All right, Harry Potter's out there. If you have the Elder Wand, you are the best magician in the world. But anyway, let's go. Let's jump into this, Sammy G. How to build self-confidence. The timer is ticking and I'm watching it. So, number 1, repetition. Repetition is the mother of all skill. To be able to have the courage before confidence, and now to be able to have the repetition. It is the day in, day out. You've heard the thing before. Consistency is the key. Consistency is what you do every single day. Successful life is merely a string of successful days all strung together. That's how it rolls.
Consistency trumps everything. There are people who are absolutely amazing, but they do something for one day and then their amazingness is like last year's number 1 hit. There are other people who aren't so brilliant at something, however, they are brilliant at consistency, and I guarantee you the people who are consistent will trump anyone who is amazing for one single day.
In doing something every day, you become more aware of what's going on. You understand what the feedback is. You understand what works and what doesn't. In which case, then repetition is going to build your self-confidence up in whatever you do. Maybe it's a Facebook Live every single day. Maybe you say to yourself, I'm going to do it. I'm willing to be bad long enough to get good enough. That's really the key to this. And that's, 7 years, this 7-year journey that we've been on, we were bad. We were really bad. Yeah, we're
We were really
getting better.
good. We were really good at being really bad fast. That's what we were.
So that's step number one for you, and if you're taking notes on how to build self-confidence. Be willing to do it over and over again. Be willing to fail long enough to get good enough at it, because eventually you'll have belief in yourself. You'll have belief in the task at hand. Number two, self-affirmation. See, this is the thing, right? In the brain doesn't care whether it's right or wrong. It doesn't care whether it's good or bad, wherever else. It'll just take the information that you're putting in. And I liken it to, well, it's like a garden bed, okay? Imagine your brain's just like the fertile soil. It will grow weeds as much as it will grow roses. It will grow amazing trees. It will also grow dangerous, toxic weeds. The difference is what you put into it. It's what you put into it. You have to nurture the brain.
And you are what you think about. So if you're thinking small, limiting beliefs, just start to become conscious of even your language about yourself, like things like, oh, I could never do this. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I'm just not that kind of person. Like all of that sort of stuff is a command to yourself. You have to look at you like a blank canvas, and you're this thing basically telling yourself what you are. And if you're filling your brain or your mindset with can't, don't have enough time, all of that sort of self-limiting talk, guess what? That is what's going to come out the other end. So if you have to listen to podcasts, if you have to listen to these 10 minutes to boost you up every day to try and get your mindset and your language around yourself in the right way of being, then set yourself up with a daily task of every morning when I first wake up, I'm going to do 5 minutes of a positive podcast, or I'm going to do some self-affirmations. But it will have to take you motivating yourself manually before that becomes a habit.
Feed it. Feed the brain with the good stuff, and the good stuff comes out. And again, surround yourself with just positive self-talk, positive, like Sammy said, positive listening, positive affirmations, anything around you that you can soak it in, because your brain is just taking it all in. All right, so number four. That's number three.
Thank you. All right. Immediate action.
Take immediate action.
Oh, there are so many of us are over analytical. It's like, oh, I have to read every book. I have to know everything about the comp plan. I have to know everything about every single product. I have to know every possibility that's going to happen before I do something. And it puts these huge walls between you and where you want to be. And the only thing that is going to get you to where you want to be is massive action without any fear of failing. You have to be willing to go and do stuff and be willing to fail at it fast, because you're never going to get it all right.
Change the word failure to learning. All right, you're either succeeding or you're learning. That's the whole point of this. When you're imagine you're going to take basketball shots. You're at the free throw line, and you're shooting, and you're course correcting every single time you take that shot. You are course correcting. You are feeling the amount of power that you put in the ball. You're looking at the direction, the navigation. You're taking notes.
Information.
Every single time it goes in, you go, right, okay, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. And you're training your mechanics to learn to succeed at this, so that when in times of stress and challenges and wherever else, you can take those shots and it's like automatic response. Same in this success. Make sure you're taking immediate action, so that you're going to learn two things here. You're going to learn what to do and what not to do. And that failure is that learning, and you're creating a learning environment for you, because you're moving outside of that comfort zone. Be willing to do this. This is going to increase your self-confidence. You're going to go, I've taken this shot before. I've done this thing before. I've been able to course correct this before because I've done it. I've taken the shot. Bruce Lee is like, I don't fear the man who does 10,000 kicks, but one kick 10,000 times. Because they know exactly what to do with that one kick. Get really great at this and take immediate action. So it's a learning, your brain is a learning machine. It wants to. It thrives on learning and education. Teach it the good and the bad. Teach it how to deal with the education that comes with failure.
That is such a powerful analogy, the basketball shot, because you can imagine how crazy it would be to stand and take two shots and then just give up. or your practice is one shot every 3 weeks. That's what you do. You can visualize how slow that progress would be, as opposed to the person who's just miss, and then they're moving and changing and feeling it, like Brett said. So they know then that when it comes down to it, they've practiced a million times and got it wrong. However, on the millionth time they get it right, that's it. You've smashed your goal, but you have to be willing to be there and do the work and be consistent.
All right, number 4 is about recognition. It's about praise. It's about allowing yourself to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, and not actually, feeling like, oh, what's other people going to think of me? Am I just being, like out there just talking about stuff? We've had our best month in 7 years. We're going to celebrate like it's
1999.
We're going to, because this is part of the journey, is to recognize things along the way, along the journey. Don't ever have to break yourself and then continue to break yourself. Otherwise, it's like, what is the point of this? The journey is one thing, but enjoying the summit is another.
Oh, of course. And there is never an end destination. You hit something and then it's like, okay, the next door opens, next level. You're like in this computer game and it's on to the next level. So make sure that you are setting these goals. When you achieve them, you are celebrating them. You are smelling the roses, because through that whole journey, you'll become a very different person. And instead of always striving for the next thing, but never having that feeling of, wow, what a huge accomplishment, make sure that you are enjoying that process and smelling the roses along the way.
And if you're building a team of people, you have a team of people around you, a community of business partners, recognition, they say, is the oxygen to the human spirit.
Soul. It is.
It's absolutely essential that you find ways and means and opportunities to be able to recognize people for a job well done, a pat on the back, a special recognition for something. It does not always have to be like numbers and whatever else. It can be simple things like Sammy said. It's people. Like, you've done the best that you've possibly been able to do. Well done. That can go a long way for people's confidence. And especially you're the giver, you can also be the receiver of that as well. And be humble in your approach for that as well. All right, last one, and this is it, because our time is up.
Our time was up about 10 minutes ago. Ask for help. Like, do not feel like, oh, I should know everything. Like, if you're the person that gets to that point where you feel like you're just outputting all this stuff and you're not asking for any help, there are always people who are further ahead in your business, been there longer, got some more experience, got some things to share. You are never done. You've never arrived at the summit where you're like, I know everything and I have no one to ask for advice. That day never comes. If you ever have that mindset, I promise you, you will hit a plateau and you'll be stuck there. So always be asking for help, asking for feedback, asking for ideas, for tips, for direction from people around you. It is so important that you are always putting the feelers out there.
They always say that never be the smartest person in the room. And it's all about environment is bigger than willpower. It's like, get around these people, like, to lift you up. If this environment is not like, if you're in an environment that does not support you to push you higher without any of this, like, complaining and justifying, it's like nagging, like small-minded chit chat is you become the small mind. And remember what we said in number 2, and that is self-affirmation. If you're growing weeds at the moment, you're growing weeds in this brain, you're having like negativity. If you're having all this like self-talk and it's not serving you in your external environment, then be willing to get out of it. Be willing to have the courage to move out of it, to then find yourself in a different playground. And my friends, find a mentor, find a well-worn path, find success. Success leaves clues, and I promise you, someone is further along the line than what you are at the moment. Find them. Get into their room. Be willing to go in and just say, I'm here to model. Tony Robbins talks about modeling people, modeling success. It's like you get around it, you become it.
And it's being coachable. You hear this all the time in these businesses. Be coachable. What does that mean? Being coachable sometimes is being really uncomfortable. It's having someone else external to you look at your business or whatever it is you're going to achieve, see your blind spots, and talk to you about it. And sometimes it can be like, what do you mean? what do you mean about that? But it's usually because they have a different vantage point, and it can be extremely constructive. It can be extremely helpful that someone else outside of you can see your blind spots and can see your journey from a different vantage point of having walked your walk and been there. But you have to be able to drop the ego, drop your guard, and be able to be coached by someone else.
Amazing stuff. Well done, Sammy G. High five. That's 7 years of
like
just awesomeness.
That was about 200 minutes.
You are doing exceptionally well. Look out 2021. We have just begun. It feels like we're just reborn. It's like a rebirthing. Anyway, November, 7 years in. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and hopefully these tips have been something for you of value. And if it has been of value, just drop the word value in the chat just so we know we can come back and say, yo, we're checking you out. We're seeing where you're at. We're cheering you on at 110%. And I hope that, if this has been the video, that little bit of information for you to sort of say, you know what, today I can do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch me follow these 5 simple steps, things that you can implement right now into your life. Have a fantastic day. 10 at 10. I've been in your waters.